It's Ilsa Manning here from Ilsa Fragrances. I'm so excited to be here today with Lauren of Local Nomad, a great boutique here in Uptown Phoenix. Sorry, I just got distracted. Gorgeous fragrance and amazing message. Oh, hi, Jana. I don't know. We just got something through. Hi, Jana. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So again, I am Ilsa Manning of Ilsa Fragrances, and welcome to Coffee and Conversation. I do have my notes as always, because this is really not my wheelhouse, but it is fun. Yeah. In Coffee and Conversation, we highlight the achievements of amazing women like you. Thank you for watching, and please say hi and join us. Ask any questions that you have. So I'm the founder, and if you don't know about Ilsa Fragrances, very briefly, after the birth of my first daughter, I was inspired to create Ilsa Fragrances. At its core, we encourage women to believe in themselves, to understand their true potential, to be empowered by this knowledge, and to achieve their dreams. You are incredible, and you can do anything you put your mind to. So our first fragrance, which I don't even have out, it's been a crazy morning for both of us today. Our first fragrance is a powerful and sophisticated fine perfume called Infinite No. 1, because your dreams, capabilities, and potential are infinite. It's available at ilsafragrances.com. Now, coffee. Oh, thank you.
Lovely.
Now, coffee and conversation. We don't have coffee today, but we have my next favorite drink, which is
mine too.
Fizzy water. Yay! So, hi, Elizabeth. Great to see you. Yeah, it is. It's delicious. Yeah. So there we go. Fizzy water today. And so I'm so excited to be sharing my fizzy water with Lauren today. So we'll just get into the questions. Please feel free to answer or to ask away. We'll be checking in with you guys. So Lauren, tell me a bit about yourself and your path to opening Local Nomad. It is a beautiful shop. Maybe, we haven't done this, but why not, right?
Pan around the shop.
We'll do a little pan around the shop. Yeah, so you can see. We're here in the Uptown Plaza. It is a gorgeous sunny day. And I love that blue wall there. And there you go. Oh, there's Lauren. Hi, everybody. All right. So here is the gorgeous shop. All right. Now we'll come back, see if we can get everything set up. Okay. There we go. Yep. All right. So can you describe your journey to getting here, to opening this gorgeous shop?
Yeah. So I guess to start out, I had always dreamed of opening a boutique. When I was younger, I would do boutique shopping a lot, and I could never afford anything, and it kind of frustrated me. But I have always, for some reason, been really into finding just unique things that none of my friends had, and I was kind of an anomaly to all of my friends in that way. Like, no one really understood my shopping habits, or why I just kind of gravitated toward just finding unique, beautiful products. Kind of a theme in my whole life. So I went to college. I intended to major in business. That's why my dad justified paying for out-of-state college for me for a really good business school.
Right? However you justify it.
Yeah, yeah. And then a semester, and I'm like, just kidding. I really don't like accounting or finance. I'm terrible at it. But I learned I can major in fashion, so I'm going to do that. And he's like, let's have a talk about that. So after a little convincing and looking at some numbers, he's like, okay, fine, you can do that. So yeah, I majored in fashion merchandising in college. I actually took an entrepreneurship class, which I was randomly telling my husband about this morning, and we had to create a business plan, and mine was like a yoga and wellness studio, and I just loved doing it. It was so fun, and I loved doing the demographics and just like all of the work, like every single little thing you have to think about in opening a business. And I was like, I think I was kind of good at that. Yeah. And I went on from college to working at Gap in San Francisco. So I worked for their corporate offices for 6 years, learned a lot there. And then I went on to managing a boutique there, kind of as an apprenticeship. I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm done with the corporate world. Like, I don't want to climb the ladder anymore. It's just not for me. And yeah, so I worked at a boutique for 2 years and pretty much managed the whole thing, did a lot of the buying, worked hand in hand with the owner and learned so much, and most importantly, justified and validated the dream. Like, okay, I can do this. Like, it's a lot of work. I have to sweep the floors, take out the trash every day, do marketing, like just everything.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I like to do this. I like to be on my feet and talk to people, and I love buying product and finding new things that people enjoy. Then my husband and I, he kind of brought us back to Phoenix. This is where he's from. And so this was just the natural place to do it.
And that was
All right, this is it. It was kind of cool because it gave me the push. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do anything else. Like, this is like, I got to do this.
I'm here. It's time.
Yeah,
it's
it was
time
time.
to do it.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So that's great that you started out, I'm going to do business, haha, and then went into fashion and that entrepreneurial class, open it up, and then into retail, and then into the boutique, which I think that's probably, I wonder if that really gave you the nitty gritty of what it means to have your own shop. With
it did.
Like you said, you were doing everything, sweeping floors to doing the marketing.
Which I still do all of those.
Well,
it's
think
just more fun because it's mine now and I care more.
Yes, and that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, Jana says, gorgeous shop. Need to come check it out. Yeah,
Come on
that's a
by.
great idea. Okay, so what are so when you're describing that journey to us, it all sounds so nice and easy. Well, you did this and then this and then this. But what are some of the challenges that you've faced in opening up the shop here?
I mean, just I feel like everything's a challenge. In opening up the shop, I mean, coming up with just kind of the whole business plan and concept, coming up with the name of the shop, I had thought about it for years and years, and that was always holding me back from kind of realizing it. I'm like, oh my God, I'll never figure out a name. And then one day in the shower, when I was still living in San Francisco, it kind of came to me and I was like, oh, that doesn't really make sense, but it kind of works. And I just went with it. So that was just one thing, just like naming the business, because it's so important. And that kind of, it like gave me a lot of anxiety for a while.
Well, it's kind of like the first, what are people going to say? I'm going to that shop, it's really cute, but I can't remember its name. So it's really important to have an easy name that sticks in people's heads.
Exactly, and I wanted it to make sense and have a story behind it and have it become really meaningful. That was the first of many challenges. And then, finding the space. I was new to Phoenix. We moved here in June and I opened the shop in October. So just kind of relying on what other people were telling me about the demographics in the area and how much rent should cost and blah blah blah, and kind of just using my own gut intuition to not based on a lot of things. Was it's a big thing to sign a lease, and I signed a 5-year lease here. So it was a lot of money and thought and just a huge commitment. And so that was.
Hi Kim, thanks for joining us.
So everything from that to even the build out, it cost a lot more money than we had intended in the first place. So just all of that is stressful, and just the whole buying inventory and. Making sure, I was going to all these trade shows and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just buying all these things. I hope they all fit together, and I hope there is, this cohesive aesthetic when people walk into the store, because everything is just so piecemeal, and we have so many product categories too. We have men's and women's and kids and home goods and accessories. Just kind of, again, trusting my gut that, okay, it'll all make sense and it'll all evolve too, and if it's not 100% perfect at the beginning, that's okay.
I think that's always the thing to remember, is that it doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to do it. And then you adjust things.
Absolutely. And the whole kind of financial piece, the inventory and managing that and kind of figuring out exactly how much inventory I need. And, just another thing was trusting my gut is what do people here in Phoenix like? I don't know.
That's true. That's definitely one thing that, that didn't even occur to me. But of course, it's a different market. It's definitely not San Francisco.
For sure. It's definitely not. And, and I did my research, and whenever I travel, and still whenever I travel, I go to all kinds of boutiques wherever I am, and I make a point to do that. And, hopefully, meet the shop owner wherever I am and talk with them, which is always just so nice to connect with someone who's doing the same, unique thing. and also just like see what other people are carrying and like what kind of neighborhood is this, and you know what people are gravitating towards, and so that kind of helped me just like to get an overall picture of, you know, how do I think people are going to respond to what we're doing, and price point wise, you know, how much is too much for a candle, how much is too much for clothing or, you know, skincare or anything like that. And that's something that still will always continue to evolve too. And I learn so much every day.
That's
so yeah, all of those things. And yeah, in my experience at the Gap, I was working in spreadsheets every day. I did inventory management and buying. So that was something that was very helpful in making my own spreadsheets and like my buy plans and my, you know, monthly sales goals and daily sales goals and all of that. So that was a part that kind of came easy to me. Even though, you know, every month is so different and we've never exactly hit the goal. It's always above or under, hopefully above. But,
right.
But yeah, so that my corporate retail experience was very helpful in that. And then I think a thing that continues to be challenging is just kind of keeping to the brand concept.
Yes.
And, you know, that was at the beginning, you know, you're just doing so many things and I'm, you know, kind of putting out this content on social media, and you know, like it's going together here and there, and like we've tried to evolve that over time. And my manager in my shop helps me with that so much because it's a big task. It's like a second job.
And social media is so important for being connected with everyone.
Absolutely.
And I was going to ask you, about the branding. I think that's one of the most important things, because especially when you're starting out, you see these opportunities and you want to grab them and you want to go, but then you have to remember, but wait, is this right? Is this right for my baby, for what I'm creating?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you kind of have to take a step back sometimes. And even now, like I do this like every other day, you know, I try to be very planful and methodical and okay, like what story do we want to tell, you know, with this photo or with this email that we're sending out. And, you know, we're trying to reach so many people and you want it to be very well thought out. And also that takes so much time. And I'm in the shop most days and, you know, talking with customers, and yesterday it was a great day, but, you know, it was like one after another, people are coming in and I'm like, man, I didn't get any work done, like, much less like any social media done. And that was, you know, and sometimes there's a day like that, and you post a photo of something random and hopefully it's like being seen by people. And but yeah, I try to be more planful about those things just because life happens, and being in a shop every day, like the first priority always is the customer,
of course.
So
lots of challenges there. But they are
fun challenges.
Exactly, they're always surmountable. I think that's it. I think that's always it. You just have to take that step back, take a deep breath and say, oh, tomorrow's the next day, and we're gonna check this, that, and the other off the list. Or maybe not, because there's gonna be loads of customers to attend to. And that's a great problem to have.
It is, definitely. It is.
Okay, and the next question, what do you do when you're feeling discouraged? You know, you just briefly mentioned about, you know, doing all the spreadsheets and the numbers, and, you know, some days or some months are down and some months are up, and hopefully there's more up than down. But, you know, in those moments where things are down, or maybe where the customers aren't coming in, you know, what do you do to stay positive?
And that's a great question because that happens all the time. Even you know, last week we had like a few bad days in a row, and I try not to freak out because I look at my credit card, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have so much inventory coming in, like how am I going to pay for this if we're only doing this much per day? And then then you have a few good days, and I, you know, my husband's very helpful, like, you know, I'll go home and talk to him. He owns a business too, and so he totally gets it, which is so nice. And, you know, he just reassures me and says, Laura, you know, a few days equals a few good days, and, you know, like, and at the end of the day, I believe so much in what I do every day here, and I know people because I talk to them in the store every day, and people are excited about it, and people, you know, love the product, and, you know, give a lot of positive feedback. And so I try to make myself think of those times. I'm like, okay, the positives always outweighing the negative.
Exactly.
And so I just have to, it's just reassuring myself, and for me too, it's letting myself take a minute to breathe too, you know, and that's doing yoga, or, you know, even just laying outside on my yoga mat for 20 minutes every morning and like stretching. That's usually what I do. And just taking a moment to, you know, look inside of myself and say, okay, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Everything's always okay.
Yeah.
I'll always figure it out. And, maybe I need to reprioritize my week to do more marketing this week.
Yes.
That's actually like my week this week. Yeah. I'm like, okay, how do I do a Facebook ad or, draw more people into the shop who haven't known us before. So I always kind of put it into an action. Okay, if I'm feeling discouraged in this way, how do I fix it? So
that's awesome. So you put it into an action. You do some yoga and stretching and talk with your husband.
Yeah.
And I think that's, which is all, those are all fantastic. That's really just taking a step back.
Yeah.
And saying, you know what, we got to look at the bigger picture. And I believe in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that is obviously the number one thing.
Totally.
And taking a breath.
Yeah,
that's
very
awesome.
important.
And we do have great weather for going outside.
We do.
And doing some stretching.
This morning was lovely.
I know. Blue skies, bright blue skies here today. Sorry if you're somewhere cold.
So nice.
So, another thing that I would like to put out there to share is if there's a young woman out there who's thinking, like, oh my gosh, I like to buy, I like to shop, I like to go find unique pieces and pull them together. And, or an adult woman who thinks, you know what, I want to quit my day job and go do that. What advice do you have for her to help her pursue her dreams or just take that first step or anything?
I would say just learn as much as you can. I think I have maybe a unique career path for someone my age. It was very kind of linear, and I took very strategic steps kind of to get where I am, but I think that was so helpful too because it was, starting a business is such a risk, but I feel like for me it was more of a calculated risk in how I did it. And I was fortunate to, kind of know what I wanted to do the whole time too, luckily. My husband's the complete opposite. He's owned two very different businesses, and many people are like that too. And you kind of find at one point in your life, like, oh man, this is my calling. But I would say, talk to, for instance, if you want to open a boutique, like, go work at a shop or, try to work part-time or even pick up, shop owners like myself always want someone who can maybe pick up a few hours a week or, on a Sunday here and there. And maybe if that's something you're interested in, you have a full-time job, like try to find someone who will take you under their wing a little bit and you can help them out by just being in the shop. And, I would love to have a couple afternoons a week off or even a few hours like every day. So that could be one thing, just
that's great
learning,
advice.
In the environment. I think that's the most helpful thing because then you get a real feel for it, and it is a lot of work, and you are doing a million things at a time, and it takes a lot of energy.
I think that you get that first-hand experience, like, could I do this? Would I want to do this? Like,
absolutely. Or if you want to open a coffee shop or open a restaurant, like, go work in those places. I've worked in restaurants. I worked in a restaurant for 6 or 7 years on and off in high school and college, and learned so much about that. And that's definitely not what I want to do with my life. But I learned so much about customer service and talking with people and things, and I think that helped so much get me to where I am now too, being in customer service. I would say do that and just talk to other owners of businesses too, and listening in on something like this is really important. And and making sure that you can do it financially too, or you're willing to take the risk of getting a huge loan for a bank, opening a shop. Inventory costs a lot of money depending on
all of
what you do, and it's a big risk, and it's scary seeing that initial number and oh my god, will I ever be able to pay this back? And I think that's what prevents a lot of people from doing it, and it's very scary.
It is. Do you go to the bank, get a loan? Do you try to cover it all yourself? Do you try to get investors? Those are all really big questions, but I think that's great advice to go start, if this is something you want to do, go start investigating those questions, and I think it's also, it allows you to get comfortable with it, to think, okay, well, if I want to do this, then this is what I have to look at committing financially, or, the potential debt I'm going to have, or, these investors that I'm going to have to account to, and it just, it might be another few years before you actually open a shop or whatever it is you dream. But taking that time to ask those questions and get comfortable with the scary, those scary aspects.
And just writing everything out. I mean, that's why I write a business plan. And just, my business plan was like a PowerPoint. and I had all of these slides, and I had my target customer and what magazine she reads and where else she shops and where she lives and how old she is, or just write down everything you can. And it, you know, the more that you write down and kind of research about what you're doing, the more, or the less that scary number, financial number, like it's less scary then, you know. And even, you know, social media is a huge part of opening any business, and I think that's helped us tremendously, you know, pay our rent every month and pay for our inventory every month. Is that, and I took a class, I took a 3-day workshop from the blogettes who are in town, who are just amazing, and it helped so much for me to understand the importance of it. I'm like, oh man, I need to get really good at this if I'm going to create this business and you know, get my exact target customer to come to the store. Like, that's how you have to market these days. And so you have to ask yourself too, like, how am I gonna, you know, get myself to be really great at understanding this, because it's so important. So just things like that too.
That is all great pieces of advice. Hi Christy, thanks for checking in with us. So I'm very excited about all that, and you know, blogettes, that's something that I've looked into as well, being local. And they also, I know for those of you maybe that aren't in the Phoenix area, I think they do online.
They do online classes, as far as I know.
So they're a great resource if you want to check them out.
Definitely. And even they do, small little note, even like Photoshop, like they had a whole day on Photoshop. And that's something, you know, when you have a business, you create graphics and you create content to put on, like in emails or signs in the store. And it's like, I don't have the money to hire someone to just like create a little banner for me here and there. Like, I had to figure out how to do that. And over time, I've gotten better at it, and my manager is good at it too. So just things like that, like you gotta know how to do all of those things.
It's that whole jack of all trades thing.
It is, truly.
Okay, awesome. So, fun fact. You did mention earlier at the beginning that you're new to the Phoenix area. What's been your favorite discovery since moving here?
Let's see. I mean, like a place or like a thing? Or
anything. You know, for me, I would love to know, because I'm a native. I've grown up here. And so you just always forget, you know, just like, you just get into your everyday mode of doing things and don't really think about, I should go check that out, or that museum, you know, that's existed for forever, I haven't checked it out, or just anything.
Definitely. Let's see. I mean, I think just the vast like landscapes that are in Arizona. When I first moved here, and I grew up in the Midwest, and most recently lived in San Francisco. And growing up, like I was used to so many trees and like a lush landscape. And in San Francisco, we had the ocean and just, you know, hills of houses and stuff. And I came here and I was like, everything's so brown and dead. And it was like the dead of summer when I moved here too, which was rough. But
I've had a friend liken it to an alien landscape.
It seems like that. Like when you're new here, I was like, everything's just so brown and dead. But it's really so beautiful. I mean, especially right now in the spring because everything's blooming. But my favorite thing is you can drive an hour outside of Phoenix and be in Sedona. You can drive 2 hours and be in a forest in Flagstaff. And it's just gorgeous. And a lot of people told me that at the beginning too. They're like, you know, especially in the summer, like get out and do all these different things. And there are so many beautiful places to see just an hour away. And so I think that's the coolest thing, because you don't really get that in a lot of cities.
You don't.
The Red Rocks in Sedona and all of the hiking that's everywhere. Like it's just gorgeous. And you can go have snow 2 hours away, you know, in January. Or even right now probably when it's, you know, 90 degrees here. So
exactly.
It's just so cool. And I love that. And I especially love to kind of get out and do even like one night trips, because when I'm here and I'm off work, I'll just go do things for the shop all the time. So I kind of have to physically remove myself
out of the place
from Phoenix.
So which that makes sense. I'm going to see. Let's say hi, Gianna. Let's see what you wrote so much. Let me see. So inspiring to see you both going after your dreams. Thank you. Can't wait to come to. I don't think people realize how much work goes into building a business and sustaining a business. Yes, Gianna. It's a lot. And I think that's a fair point about, you know, that to actually disengage from the business, you've got to leave town.
I mean, yeah, personally.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
you know, when you're here, it's just like, oh, well, I need to do this or I need to do that.
Yeah,
Or I'll
like,
just run
go
by
get
real
paper
quick.
towels.
And,
Exactly, yeah.
And then you find yourself the running by, you know,
Yeah,
is
and,
actually
like,
2 hours later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's great. And
Yeah.
all those fabulous places to visit here in Arizona.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
Hi, Reed.
nice.
Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. So, I don't know if anybody has any questions for us left, but I want to say thank you for joining our Busy Water, Busy Water and conversation today. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to know, are you in the Phoenix area and would you like to participate? Please message me at Ilsa Fragrances here on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or info@ilsafragrances.com. Do you know a fabulous woman in the Phoenix area that you would like to highlight in a future coffee and conversation? Message us. Let's support one another in achieving our dreams. Have a good day and see you soon.
Bye.